Hello, myself Dr. Anuj Kumar Purwal. Today I am taking lecture on water pollutants and estimation of oxygen demand. What is water pollution? Water pollution can be defined as alteration in physical, chemical or biological characteristics of water through natural or human activities and making it unsuitable for its designated use. Water pollutants, oxygen demanding waste, plant nutrients, pathogens, heavy metals, refractory organics, sediments, volatile organic compounds, salts, and heated water discharge. Oxygen demanding waste, substances that oxidize in the receiving body of water with the consumption of dissolved oxygen. Organic matter in presence of oxygen converted into carbon dioxide, water, and new cells plus stable product. Biodegradable organic substances contained in municipal wastewater, industrial wastewater, crop residue, decaying plants and leaves, and oxidation at certain inorganic compounds. This causes depletion of dissolved oxygen in water. Oxygen demanding waste also cause color, taste and odor problems. Plant nutrients, chemicals that are essential for the growth of living things like nitrogen, phosphorus, carbon, sulfur, calcium, iron, manganese, etc. Nutrients are pollutants when their concentrations are sufficient to allow excessive growth of aquatic plants, particularly algae. The process of nutrients enrichment leading to excessive growth of algae is called eutrophication. Algae eventually die and their decomposition removes dissolved oxygen from water. Algae and decaying organic matter add color, turbidity, odor, and objectionable taste to water, making it less attractive as a source for domestic water supply, recreational, and other purposes. Here we are seeing in picture their deposition of nitrogen and phosphorus nutrients. So there is the algae bloom and this deposited on the water plants, or we can say phytoplanktons. So suppress the growth of these phytoplanktons, and when this algae die, so on decaying or decomposition of this algae, their microorganisms attack, and these microorganisms uses the dissolved oxygen. So there is the oxygen deficit in their water body. Major sources of nitrogen and phosphorus include municipal wastewater discharges, chemical fertilizers, and phosphorus-based detergent. In addition, there are also natural sources that may add nitrogen to the water body. Certain bacteria and blue-green algae can directly obtain nitrogen from the atmosphere. Certain form of acid rain can also contribute nitrogen to the lakes. Pathogens. Pathogens are the disease-causing organisms that grow and multiply within the host. Human and animal excreta are sources of pathogens. Pathogens associated with water include bacteria, virus, protozoa, and parasitic worms. Heavy metals. Heavy metals denotes metals that are toxic. Toxic metals include arsenic, cadmium, cobalt, mercury, and lead, etc. The sources of heavy metals are natural and industrial discharges. Refractory organisms. Refractory organics of concern to environmental engineers are pesticides and detergents. The pesticides include insecticides, herbicides, rodenticides, and fungicides. Chlorinated hydrocarbons are toxic and they need to be monitored in public water supply. The well-known pesticide is DDT, dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. This is widely used to control insects. Sediments. and excessive sediment loads deposited into lakes and reservoirs reduce their usefulness. Sediments fills up storm drains to carry water away from roads and homes, which increases the potential of flooding. Water with sediments become cloudy, preventing animals from seeing inside water to search food. Sediments in stream beds disrupt the natural food chain by destroying the habitat. Sediments increases the cost of treating drinking water and can result in odor and taste problems. Sediments can clog fish gills, reducing resistance to disease, lowering growth rates, and affecting fish egg and larva development. Sediment deposits in rivers can alter the flow of water and reduce water depth, which makes navigation and recreational use more difficult. Here we are seeing two pictures. In upper picture, stream with low level of the sediment. So there is the harmony with the nature. Sun rays reaches in certain depth, fishes are available, and the phytoplanktons are also having their growth or development. But in the second picture we are seeing stream with high level of sediment, so there is the hurdle of the reaching the sun rays inside this water body in certain level, so there is the less photosynthesis process by the plant, so less plants are available. There are certain planktons are also not available due to the effect of this sediment. Volatile organic compounds. Volatile organic compounds are used as solvent in industrial processes. Most commonly found contaminants in groundwater. 5-VOCs are especially toxic and persistent, and their presence in drinking water is a cause of special concern. These are vinyl chloride, tetrachloroethylene, trichloroethylene, carbon tetrachloride, and 1,2-dichloroethane. Salts. Water naturally accumulates a variety of salts as it passes through soils and rocks. Certain industrial discharges also contain significant dissolved salt. Salts produces taste and odor. Heated water discharge. It is cause of the degradation of water quality by changing the ambient water temperature. It is water pollutant caused by heated industrial effluent. The change in temperature decreases oxygen supply and affects the ecosystem. Fish and other organisms adapted to particular temperature range can be killed by an abrupt change in water temperature. This is known as the thermal shock. Dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen is the amount of gaseous oxygen dissolved in water. Oxygen enters the water by direct absorption from the atmosphere, by rapid movement, or as a waste product of plant photosynthesis. Water temperature and the volume of moving water can affect dissolved oxygen level. Dissolved oxygen level that drop below 5 mg per liter cause stress to aquatic life. Lower concentration cause greater stress. So here we are seeing in picture oxygen added in this water body through the aeration process due to the photosynthesis and by the diffusion. Oxygen sac curve. The curve obtained when the concentration of dissolved oxygen in a river into which sewage or other water pollutants have been discharged is plotted against the distance downstream from the sewage outlet. Samples of water are taken at areas upstream and downstream from the sewage outlet. The presence of sewage reduces the oxygen quantity of the water and increases the biochemical oxygen demand. Reduction of oxygen is due to the action of saprotrophic organisms that decompose the organic matter in the sewage and use available oxygen in the process. Oxygen deficit. In a running polluted stream exposed to the atmosphere, the deoxygenation as well as reoxygenation go hand in hand. If deoxygenation is more rapid than the reoxygenation, an oxygen deficit results. The oxygen deficit D at any time in a polluted river stream is the difference between the actual dissolved oxygen contained of water at that time and the saturation dissolved oxygen contained at the water temperature. So oxygen deficit is equal to dissolved oxygen minus dissolved oxygen actual. The amount of resultant oxygen deficit can be obtained by algebraically adding the deoxygenation and reoxygenation curve. In order to maintain clean conditions in a river system, the oxygen deficit must be nil, and this can be found out by knowing the rates of deoxygenation and reoxygenation. Deoxygenation curve. In a polluted stream, the dissolved oxygen content goes on reducing due to decomposition of volatile organic matter. The rate of deoxygenation depends upon the amount of organic matter remaining to be oxidized at a given time as well as on the temperature of reaction. At given temperature, the curve showing depletion of dissolved oxygen with time means deoxygenation curve is similar to the first stage of the biochemical oxygen demand curve. Reoxygenation curve. In order to counter the balance of the consumption of dissolved oxygen due to deoxygenation, atmosphere supplies oxygen to the water and the process is called reoxygenation. The rate at which the oxygen is supplied by atmosphere to the polluted water depends upon the depth of receiving water, condition of flow, oxygen deficit, temperature. So here we are seeing the picture, the oxygen sac curve, reoxygenation curve and deoxygenation curve against the time of flow. Deoxygenation curve here are showing depletion of dissolved oxygen in the absence of the aeration, and the reoxygenation curve, this is showing the dissolved oxygen content supplied, and oxygen safe curve, this is the actual dissolved oxygen content or oxygen balance is available in that water body. Biochemical oxygen demand. It is a water analysis to understand the effect of aerobic bacteria on the quantity of oxygen they consume as they decompose organic matter under aerobic conditions. Determining how organic matter affects the concentration of dissolved oxygen in a stream or lake. The sample for which biochemical oxygen demand is to be measured is suitably diluted with dilution water so that nutrients and oxygen are available during the incubation period of 5 days. If need be, the dilution water is seeded with a mixed bacterial culture. The dissolved oxygen is measured before and after the incubation of the sample. Therefore, there are two stages of decomposition involved in the biological oxygen demand, a carbonaceous stage and a nitrogenous stage. The typical carbonaceous demand curve shows the oxidation of organic matter. The typical carbonaceous plus nitrogenous demand curve shows the additional oxidation of ammonia and nitrite. The carbonaceous stage or first stage represents that portion of oxygen demand involved in the bacterial conversion of organic carbon to carbon dioxide. The nitrogenous stage or second stage represents a combined carbonaceous plus nitrogenous demand when organic nitrogen, ammonia and nitrite are converted to nitrate by bacteria, a process that also consume dissolved oxygen. So here the curve for the biochemical oxygen demands with the time. Calculation of biochemical oxygen demand. For an unseeded sample, BOD is equal to D1 minus D2 divided by P. For a seeded sample, BOD is equal to D1 minus D2 in bracket minus B1 minus B2 in bracket multiply 1 minus P in bracket divided by P, where D1 is equal to DO of diluted sample immediately after dilution. This is in milligram per liter. D2 is equal to dissolved oxygen of diluted samples after 5 days or 120 hours. D1 is equal to DO of seeded control sample with before incubation. B2 is equal to DO of seeded control sample after 5 day incubation. P is equal to volume of undiluted sample divided by the volume of diluted sample. Here 1 by P is known as the dilution factor or dilution ratio. 1% diluted samples means 1 ml of the raw sample is diluted in order to make a 100 ml test sample. Thus, its dilution factor would be 100. Now it is assumed that the oxidation or decomposition of the organic matter follows the first order kinetics and can be expressed by the following differential equation, which is given at a temperature. dLT divided by dt is equal to minus KLT. Here LT is the oxygen equivalent of carbonaceous oxidable organic matter present in sewage after T days from the start of oxidation. K is a constant signifying rate of oxidation of organic matter. It depends on the nature of organic matter and temperature. Its units being per day. The minus sign of K indicates that LT, this is the oxygen equivalent of carbonaceous oxidable organic matter, decreases with the increase in time. If Yt is the amount of BOD that have been exerted at time t, then Yt is equal to L0 minus Lt. Here L0 is the organic matter present at the start of BOD reaction and Lt is the organic matter left after T days. So Lt divided by L0 is equal to E minus K power E power minus Kt. So Yt is equal to L0 minus L0 e की power minus Kt. So is equal to L0 in bracket 1 minus e की power minus Kt. Now here we will see the some problems based on the biochemical oxygen demand. So first calculate the BOD when initial sample is given, 5-day sample is given here, and the volume of sample in 300 ml bottle is given. This is 60 milliliter. So BOD is equal to D1 minus D2 divided by P. D1 is 8.1 milligram per liter. D2 is equal to 2.1 milligram per liter. Multiply by the dilution factor. This is the 300 divided by 60 is equal to 30 milligram per liter. Now second problem, here we have to calculate the BOD, and there are two different scenario of dilution is given, dilution A and dilution B, and the initial DO or 5-day DO is given for both dilution scenario. So for so BOD formula is BOD is equal to D1 minus D2 divided by P. So BOD in case of dilution A, answer comes 50 milligram per liter as we have done in previous problem. BOD for in case of the situation of dilution B, this is 48 milligram per liter. So BOD average is equal to BOD in case A plus BOD in case B divided by 2. Answer comes 49 milligram per liter. Now another problem, for a control sample bottle containing seeded dilution water has a drop of 1.5 milligram per liter in its DO over 5-day incubation. The BOD bottle with 20 ml of wastewater and the remaining seeded water has a DO drop of 6.8 milligram per liter. Compute the BOD5 of the sample. So BOD5 here at the temperature of 20 degree centigrade is equal to D1 minus D2 in bracket minus B1 minus B2 in bracket multiply in bracket 1 minus P divided by P. So here DO drop is already given for the seeded water. This is 6.8, so we put 6.8 in place of D1 minus D2 in bracket and minus. In case of B1 minus B2 we put the value 1.5 because this is the drop in 5-day incubation, so we put the 1.5 multiply 1 minus P, 1 minus P is equal to sample is given 20 ml divided by the dilution 300 and same divide by P 200 divided by 300, so answer come 81 milligram per liter. Here another problem, 6 milliliter of wastewater is diluted to 300 milliliter distilled water in this standard BOD bottle. Initial DO in the bottle is determined to be 8.5 milligram per liter. DO after 5 days at 20 degree centigrade is found to be 5 milligram per liter. Determine BOD of wastewater and compute the ultimate BOD. So here BOD5 is equal to DO0 minus DO5 divided by the VW. We multiply by the VW plus VD. So here we put the DO initial 8.5 and after 5 days 5 milligram per liter, and here total sample volume 300 multiply 300 divided by 6 is equal to 175 milligram per liter. Here we formula is the VW plus VD and multiply by the VW plus VD and divide by the VW, but this is same in situation, this is divided by the P. In case of P is equal to VW divided by VW plus VD. So here the VW is equal to sample size is 6 ml and it is diluted to 300, so VW plus VD is equal to 300 and answer comes the 175 milligram per liter. Since BOD T is equal to BOD U into 1 minus e power minus KT at a particular temperature, so we have to calculate the BOD ultimate. So BOD ultimate is equal to BOD5 divided by the in bracket 1 minus e power minus KT. In place of the T we kept the 5 day. Okay, then is equal to, then answer comes and the K is a constant and we kept the value 0.23 per day, so answer comes the 256 milligram per liter. Here another problem, the BOD 6 of a wastewater is determined to be 400 milligram per liter at 20 degree centigrade. The K value at 20 degree centigrade is known to be 0.23 per day. What would be the BOD 8 value if tests were run at 15 degree centigrade? So here temperature is changed as well as we have to measure the BOD for 8 days. So first we have to calculate the what is the ultimate BOD in case of this temperature 20 degree centigrade and given constant K is equal to 0.23 per day at 20 degree centigrade. So BOD U is equal to BOD 6 and 20 degree centigrade temperature divided by 1 minus e power minus K 20 degree centigrade into 6 days. This is 6 day BOD. So answer comes 534.458 milligram per liter. So now this is the ultimate BOD. This is same for both cases, for temperature at the temperature 15 degree centigrade as well as the 20 degree centigrade. Now but we have to calculate the value of constant K at the for the temperature 15 degree centigrade. K15 is equal to K20. This is formula. K15 is equal to K20 into 1.047 in power T1 minus T2. So here T1 is 15 and we have taken the T2 is equal to 20. So value comes 0.183 per day. So now constant at temperature 15 is equal to 0.183 per day. Now BOD 8 at the temperature BOD 8 days BOD at temperature of 15 degree centigrade is equal to BOD U into 1 minus e power minus K15 into 8 is equal to 410.643 milligram per liter. Now another problem. Compute ultimate BOD first stage and 20 days BOD for the sample having BOD 5 at 0 degree at 20 degree centigrade temperature is 100 milligram per liter. Here assume K 0.23 per day for 20 degree centigrade temperature. So Y5 BOD 5 is equal to BOD ultimate into in bracket 1 minus e to power minus kt. So 5-day BOD is given 100 milligram per liter. Ultimate is had to calculate 1 and here value k is given and time 5 days is given. So answer comes L0 is equal to 146.34 milligram per liter. Hence Y2 Y20. Now we have to calculate the BOD at 20 days. So Y20 is equal to ultimate BOD into in bracket 1 minus e to power minus k into t. So k is given 0.23, t is given 20 days, and ultimate BOD is given. We calculated earlier 146.34. So answer comes Y20 is equal to 144.87 milligram per liter. From here we can see the data of Y20 as well as ultimate BOD. This is little bit similar data. So we can say in 20 days BOD is little bit reaching the point of the ultimate BOD. Now chemical oxygen demand. COD, the amount of oxygen that is required for the chemical oxidation of organic and inorganic chemicals present in the wastewater by utilizing oxidizing agents like potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate, etc. is called as chemical oxygen demand. The presence of COD facilitates rapid chemical oxidation of organic matter without any additional equipment. This is the only method that enables to determine the organic load in heavy toxic seaweed. So thank you. So this is all about the parameters of the water, and in next lecture we will discuss the how will be get the we will test the water parameter to judge the water quality. Once again, thank you.